Hi guys, welcome back to Geeks Wargaming. We have another battle report for you today, and we have Imperial Knights versus
Astra Militarum.
or Imperial Guard.
Imperial Guard. Still Imperial Guard.
Yeah, we're old school, so Imperial Guard. So I've got a fairly strong list. It's not quite the list which I'm planning on taking to tournaments, but it's what I've got available at the moment. But we have got the new Valiant for the first time for you, so let's see how well that does. John has got an awful lot of tanks and I have a harpoon.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, this one. I strongly toyed with bringing a Baneblade along, not wishing to do a bit of a list spoiler, but I didn't bring it in the end. I kind of figured it's a point sink and it's going to be a bullet magnet, whereas lots of Lehman Russ all present lots of individual targets. It might be a bit more difficult just on a numbers game to wipe them out so quickly.
Yeah, target-rich environment.
Yeah, something like that. We're going to see how it goes. Yeah. I'm using some guardsmen as basically meat shields, and on the assumption it might be an objective-based game. One of the things that the guard might have going for them is being in chimeras and being able to scoot around the board a little bit. So that was kind of my logic. I am really interested to see how the Knights get on, because I've got a bunch of Knights that are kicking around in a box that I just for various different reasons I haven't painted or whatever. Having looked at Robin's army, which you'll see in a second, is absolutely stunning. I'm totally inspired to dig mine out and get them painted up. So I'm quite interested to see, I'm actually more interested to see how your army performs than my army, to be totally honest. But yeah, it should be a really good game. I think it should be quite an interesting mix.
I mean, the mission, so we're playing Frontline Warfare, which is an objective-based game. So it's the one where there's 4 objectives on the battlefield, 2 in no man's land, which are worth 2 points at the end of the game. The one that's in your own deployment zone is worth 1 point, and the one in your enemy's deployment zone is worth 4 points. So I've only got 4 models, so I can't really sit on all of those. Well, I could sit on all of those, but it's unlikely. Whereas John, with all the chimeras and the Lehman Russ and stuff like that, he can dart around the board and probably sit on a lot more objectives that I can. So yeah, you just have to see. I'll have to be obviously shooting as many tanks as possible as they're trying to flood past my lines potentially.
Yeah. Oh, and don't forget, I've bought a bunch of flyers with me as well. I've kind of made the assumption that maybe Knight's not so strong against flyers.
Yeah, I did. I didn't. I haven't kitted out my Knights with the carapace weapons that are for the flyer, because I've got a few flamers, and flamers now auto hit. So, auto hitting flamers.
Never really thought about that before. That's an interesting. That's a bit of a change, isn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, Traitor's Pyre on the Valiant. That's a 3d6 automatic hits. So strength 7. Re-rolling wounds, mate.
Okay, so
enjoy that, flyers.
Maybe the flyer strategy might not work out for me after all, but we'll have to see how it goes.
I've got an awful lot of las cannons on those flyers though, so I am a little bit scared, to be honest with you. So yeah. Anyway, without further ado, let's go on to the armies and see what we've brought. Here's my Imperial Knights force for today. Just the 4 models it is then. Warlord is the Valiant, and he is just completely stock really. There's only really one way that you can build him. You can swap out the carapace weapons, but 4 missiles is more fun. So he has got the Iron Bulwark Warlord trait to make him 4-up invuln, and I've given him the relic, the Traitor's Pyre. Now I've actually used a stratagem at the start. I've used the Exalted Court, so I can get 2 more Knights for 3 command points. I can give them a Warlord trait. It also gives them the character rule. Now, I'm not sure if we're playing this right, but it's the way that we are playing it, so comment down below. So, in the Codex, it says that if it's an Imperial Knights character, it can take an heirloom or a relic. So I take it as, because 3 of these guys are Imperial Knights characters and one of them is a Warlord, that all 3 of them can take a relic. It's one of those wordings which it's kind of could be interpreted either way. I think we're playing this right, but not sure. So yeah, comments down below. So anyway, this is the Crusader. He has got the Endless Fury relic, which is the Gatler he's got there, and he's got the Cunning Commander, so that refunds me 1 of those CP, so I've only lost 2 CP instead of the 3 CP for upgrading these. And then this one I'm running, although I used him as a free blade in the last battle report, he is actually going to be part of Hawkshroud for this one. So the Warden, and he has got the Warlord trait, Blessed by Sacristan, I think it's called, which is nominate a weapon that isn't a relic, so here's Gatler. And for every roll of 6 on the wounds, you score mortal wounds as well, so that's really good. And the relic that I've given him is the missile pod, and he's got the judgment, which is the re-rolls to hit. And then rounding out the force is the legend that is Sir Siegfried von Klinkenstein. And he is a Knight Paladin, and he is completely stock, so no upgrades whatsoever on him. And that makes up just under 2,000 points. That is 1,992 points.
Okay, here's my 2K's worth of Astra Militarum. For HQ, I've got a company commander and I've got a tank commander in a Lehman Russ Vanquisher. And then I've got 4 identical squads of troops that all have a sergeant and a melt gun embedded as a special weapon. And each of those also comes with a Chimera as a dedicated transport. Then in the heavy support slots, I've got a Lehman Russ with heavy bolters throughout. I've got another Lehman Russ with a las cannon in the hull. I've got a Lehman Russ Annihilator, which is twin las cannon on the turret, and then I've put another las cannon in the hull. And I've got an Executioner, which is the plasma based one with a las cannon in the hull. And then I've got, for flyers, I've got a Vendetta, and I've got an Avenger Strike Fighter, which I've given auto cannons and las cannons. And that is my 2K's worth of Astra Militarum. So here we are on a Forge world loyal to the Imperium. You can see the factories there in the background, and you can see the produce of those factories. Fine brace of knights. A planet's manufacturing facilities, however, that the forces of chaos would love to get hold of. So here we've got a bunch of renegade guard who are determined to seize the factories and turn their output to their own evil ends. Now, according to the mission that we've got, there are 4 objective markers, 1 in each of our deployment zones. So that's the first one that Robin has put down. And then I've got one here just behind the pipelines. And then there are 2 objectives. We've placed 1 each inside no man's land. And that's the one I put down there by the fuel dump. And Rob has selected to put one down here behind the Imperial statue just there. We've also deployed our armies. Obviously Rob was pretty quick at deploying. We've just got 4 models on the table there. We've got various different knights. They're all in that spearhead formation. I'm guessing he's pretty keen on getting into combat as quickly as possible. On my side, the triangle spearhead is a little bit congested. I've got my Chimeras at the front there, and then Lehman Russ behind, and my 2 flyers, so the Vendetta on top of that oil storage facility, and the Avenger just sneaking into the edge of the table, just trying to maximize the strafing run that these guys can perform during the first couple of turns. So that is the deployment pretty much done. It is going to be a race into combat, I would suspect. Now, before we get underway, of course, we do need to determine who's going to be going first. So we're going to grab a dice and we're going to be rolling that off. So we're going to grab 1 dice each. Rob is plussing 1 to his roll. Let's see who's going to be going first. Oh, well, that's not great. There you go. Didn't even need that +1. Of course, I'm going to give that a whirl to see if I can seize initiative. Oh, nearly. Not quite.
I love playing knights. You can move things so quickly. So I've moved up in the spear tip very, very quickly, as quick as I can, without advancing, so I can get plenty of shots in on all of these
chimeras and Lehman Russ. Let's see what we can pop. I think I'm going to be out of range with a harpoon. It's only a 12-inch, and John has actually deployed back a little bit. What a wuss. But the flamer should be able to toast some things, and all the rest of the guns on there. So let's go over to shooting and see how we get on. So I'm going to open up with the Valiant, and he is going to be firing the Traitor's Pyre at this Chimera. The harpoon and the melters are out of range, so I'm going to fire the cannons into the Chimera, and then I'm going to fire one missile at one of the Lehman Russ. Which one's your commander?
401 is my commander.
401.
The one with the big gun.
So I'm going to fire at 401. Why not? So let's start with the Pyre. It's 3d6 shots. That is one of the worst rolls ever.
That's impressive.
So that is 5 shots. Not a good... It's the first time I've fired anything on this night. That is not a good start. So it's 4s to wound, and I re-roll all fails because of the relic. So that's pretty good. So that is all of them wounded, and it is -2, and it's 2 damage a pop. So they all wounded, so John needs to make 5 5-up saves. He's made 2, so he has got 6 damage that have gone through on the Chimera. Next, 2d3 shots from the Siege Breaker Cannon into the same target. Brilliant. 2 shots, hitting on 3s, 2 hits, strength 7, so toughness 7, 4s. So 1 goes through, and it is -1 d3 damage.
Okay, so 4 up.
Yep,
done.
Loves it. Now the Missile of Doom is going into Tank 401, the commander. 3 to hit. It's a hit. And it is strength 10, so 3 up to wound. Ooh. Of course it fails. Next to fire is Sir Siegfried himself, the legend that is. We're going to be shooting everything into the damaged Chimera. So 2d6 shots from the battle cannon. So that is 7 shots. He will be hitting on 3s. Okay, so that is 5 hits. It's strength 8, so wounding on 3s. Right, okay, so that was 5 wounds. So John needs to make 5 5-ups.
There we go. So 3 fails and 2 saves.
So this is 3d3 damage each. So we've got 2, 3, 4 damage. Next we're moving on to the Stubbers, hitting on 3s. Oh goodness me. That's 2 hits, 5s to wound. That's 1 wound, just a normal armour save, John.
Saved.
Made it. 12 shots. So 12 shots from the Gatler into this. Missile pod is going into your Warlord, and the Stubber's also going into that. Okay, so let's do the Gatler first of all. Hitting on 3s. That is 3 misses, not bad. Require 5s to wound. 5s to wound, 6s cause mortal wounds because there's a Warlord trait. So we have 1 wound and an additional mortal wound, so that's 2 wounds that have gone through. So 2 saves, and there's a mortal wound on it as well. So the mortal wound has taken that Chimera down to 1 wound remaining, and he's got 2 saves at -2 to make, and each one of these is 2 damage. So that that Chimera goes pop.
Does it go super pop?
No, it doesn't. And there are 10 guys inside the Chimera, so any rolls of 1 will be dead dudes. There's 1 dead dude. And the last thing to fire on that night is now the relic pod, the Judgment, not Sanctuary. Don't know why I called it that. So Judgment firing at the Warlord, hitting on 3s but re-rolling because of the relic itself. So we've got 2 hits, strength 8 against toughness
8 as well.
4s to wound, nothing there. Okay, so I really need to improve the shooting because it's been pretty poor so far. So last of all, we've got the Knight Crusader on the flank. He is going to be shooting at the Warlord, and he is firing everything apart from the Stubbers. The Stubbers will be going into this unit of guard at the front here. So we'll start with the Endless Fury. These are hitting on 3s, but 6s explode into additional hits. So we've missed twice, 3 times, but we have gained 2 more, so we'll get 2 of those back in. So we require 5s and 6s to wound. Oh, that's appalling. We've got 1, 2, 3 wounds in total there. Yeah, 3 wounds. So we've got 3 wounds, that -2, 2 damage apiece.
So aren't you making 5 ups?
Okay, so 2 go through, so the Warlord takes 4 damage. Next fires the rapid fire battle cannon, so 2d6 shots. 7 shots, exactly average. Hitting on 3s. It's 2 misses, and these will be, is it toughness 8, is it?
It is toughness 8.
So wounding on 4s. So that is 3 wounds at -2 AP.
Okay, so another set of 5 ups.
So D3 damage on one of these. Yeah, of course, just the one. And last of all, the Storm Strike missile pod into the same target. Hitting on 3s, all hit. This is strength 8, so wounded on 4s. That's 2 wounds at -3. And these are D6 damage a pop.
Ouch, so I need 6s on these.
Nope.
Okay, so how bad is it?
How many wounds you got left?
He's got 7 left.
Oh, average says that I should kill him. I'm going to re-roll that. Sod the averages, eh? Boom.
Okay, so he's destroyed. A couple of things we need to check here. First of all, does he explode?
No, he doesn't.
No. And I'm also going to see if I gain a command point after Rob using his. So 5 up.
Yep.
Yes, I got a command point. At least I got something out of that.
And last of all, the Stubbers are going to be shooting down at those poor defenceless guardsmen at the front there. So we're hitting on 3s. Oh, look at that. 2 hits. That is 2 wounds. Toughness 3, I guess, yeah?
They are toughness
Okay,
3,
yeah.
yeah.
So 2 wounds, no minus, just normal save.
Okay. One lives and 1 dies.
Cool. So that's the end of my turn. Could have gone better. Did manage to get rid of 2 tanks and got Warlord. So I'll take that, but on to Astra Militarum turn 1.
Actually, we do just need to check the morale on these guys because there is a chance that they'll fail. So let's see how we get on here. I don't want to see a 6. No, they're fine. So the flyers have had to do their minimum compulsory movement, obviously, just to keep in the air. So I've just done, you know, what I need to do there. I obviously don't want to be overflying these guys too quickly. I want to be getting those shots in. Pretty much left everything else still, with the exception of these guys down here, because they're devoid of cover anyway now that their Chimera's boomed. So I'm going to pop the melt gun as close as I can to the Knights and just see if we can dent the armour just a little bit. But that's basically movement done, real simple. So I'm going to start with the Vendetta. I'm going to fire all the las cannons down at that knight just there. So we've got 3 twin las cannons. So we've got 6 shots in total.
I am going to spend a command point to rotate iron shields.
Okay.
Basically, +1 to my invuln save.
Right, so you've got the iron shield facing up towards it and
Yep.
+1 to your invuln. Okay, so hitting on 4s. We've got 3 misses there and 3 hits. Get 3s to wound there. And get 2 wounds. So Rob is going to need 2 4-ups to save those. And, oh, neither.
I am going to spend a command point to reroll. Yep.
Okay, so 1 goes through. So that's going to cause D6 damage. Let's take a look. Ah, just 1 damage. That really sucks. And do you know what? I'm actually going to spend a point on that. And still don't get it. Well, it's not great, but 4 is better than 1. Up to shoot, I'm going to fire the Leman Russ at the back there at the same knight. So that's D6 off the battle cannon first of all. So D6 shots. 2. Wow, isn't that great? So I need 4s for that. And I got myself 1 hit as a result. And that's a strength 8 weapon, so I'm going to need 4s. Nope, let's have a look. And that's a no. So that somewhat depressingly means that he's down to just 20 wounds remaining. Now I've also got a dice roll here. Rob's used 2 command points and I want to see if I'm going to get those back or gain some off the back of that. And I don't on this occasion. To grinding advance, that tank didn't move, so I can fire that battle cannon again. So see if it's any better this time around. So there's 4 shots this time. And again, that's going to need 4s. Okay, so it's 2 hits there. So that gives me 3 wounds in total. Let's see if they get anywhere. I need 4s. And that's 1 wound with a -2 modifier.
So it's a 4-up invuln.
So 4-up invuln.
Nope.
Nope. So that 1 that went through is going to cause D3 damage. Ooh, so 3 damage. So next up off the same tank, we've got the heavy bolters. There's 3 heavy bolters on that tank. So I'm going to fire all of those at the knight as well. So that's going to need 4s to hit. Let's have a look at that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hits. That's going to need 5s to cause a wound.
Just got
1 wound. -1 modifier.
4-up. All good.
Oh, saved. So next I've got the Chimera that's just in front of it. I'm going to use the heavy bolter and the mortar laser on that as well to fire at the knight. So we're going to start with the heavy bolter. We've got 3 shots. We need 4s to hit. Nope. And we get nothing whatsoever. So next up we've got the multi laser, and that's again going to need 4s. And we've got 2 hits there.
5s to wound.
That's strength 6, but it's still 5s to wound. So it's 1 wound on there. There's no modifier on that at all. So Rob, your save.
3-up.
Fail
on the 2.
Fail. That's just 1 damage on that. I'm going to go round again. So the Chimera that's got the hatch open there and the commander just popping his head out the top, he's also going to be firing at the same knight as well. So heavy bolter hitting on 4s. We've got 1 hit there. 5s to wound. No wound. Then we've got the multi-laser again hitting on 4s. We've got 2 hits this time.
Wounding on 5s.
Wounding on 5s again. And we've got 1 there. So that is no modifier on that at all, Rob.
3.
So 3 up, and that's safe this time. Right. Going to stick with the Chimera again, and going to fire the heavy bolter and the multi-laser. This time we're going to fire that at the big guy at the front here. So the Warlord is going to taste a little bit of God vengeance, hopefully. So again, we've got a heavy bolter to start, hitting on 4s. We've got 2 hits there, and 5s to wound. Nope. And no wounds. And then we've got a multi-laser. 4s to hit, 1 hit, and 5s to wound.
Nope.
No wound. Okay. Then behind there, there's also a Leman Russ, and I'm going to fire everything that Leman Russ has at the same knight. So we're going to start with the battle cannon, which is a D6, which is 4. So 4 shots there, and I'm going to fire it again thanks to grinding advance, which is 4. So I've got 8 shots in total. Yeah, hitting on 4s. That's not looking too shabby at all. So we'll just take those out of the equation. So that's strength 8, Rob. So what am I needing there?
4s.
So 4s to cause a wound. What have we got? That's not too bad either. Okay, so we've got 4 wounds there. That's a -2 modifier.
So 4 4-ups.
So 4 4-ups we need, Rob.
All but 1. How much damage?
So D3 damage on that.
3 damage.
3 damage. So yeah, that makes me feel so much more confident now. And now there's 2 heavy bolters to fire over in that direction as well. So we're going to do those together. And we need 4s to hit. And we've got 2 hits. And those need to score 5s in order to wound. We've got 1 wound there with a -1 mod. 4 up. And yeah,
all good on a 5.
it's a 5. There you go. Cannon then. So this may be the big one, hopefully. So I need 4 for that. I'm going to claim that's cocked. That's more like it. Yep. So that's a hit. And it's a strength 9 weapon. So 3s to wound. So that is a wound.
4-up invuln.
And you've got your 4-up invuln, Rob. Oh, which it fails. So that's D6 damage. 3 right down the middle there. So 3 damage on that. So next up, I've got the Leman Russ Annihilator. Now, if you're not familiar with this particular tank, it's a Forge World variant, which is, well, it's basically las cannon. So you've got a twin las cannon in the turret, and I've also elected to put an extra las cannon in the hull as well there. So you've got the twin las cannon on the top there, gives me 2 dice. I'm just going to bundle that in with the grinding advanced shot. So we're going to put 4 shots off the turret. And then, of course, you've also got the one off the hull-mounted las cannon as well. So there's 5 las cannon shots off of that tank. And it needs to be hitting on 4s. What do we got? We've got 1, 2 hits there. And I need 3s to cause a wound, which I cause on both of those. So, Rob, you've got 2 saves to make.
Las cannons.
Yeah, las cannon. So it's your 4-up invuln, please. Or 1 saved and... No, both failed, actually. What am I talking about? So, we've got 2d6 damage. Oh, that's big, like that. So, that's 9 wounds caused off that tank. Pretty awesome. Okay, so it looks like that tank is showing everybody else how it's done. So, I'm now going to go down to the next one along, which is a Leman Russ Executioner. So, we're going to fire a big ball of plasma in that direction. But before we do that, we're going to resolve the other weapons first. So I'm going to start out with the small ones. We've got 2 heavy bolters, which I'm going to do together. So there's 3 shots on each. I need 4s to hit. Oh, look at that. All hits. Now, absolutely. Now we've found a taste for it. We've got our eye in. So I need 5s to wound. Okay, not so great. We've got 1 wound on there, and that's got a -1 mod on it. 4 up. No, it's failed. So that's 1 more wound. Then we've got the las cannon. So I need a 4 for that to hit, which I do. And I need a 3 to cause a wound, which I do. So that is another 4-up invuln.
I'm going to pass one.
Oh, no, he's failed it. So that's D6 wounds. Oh, 4. That's pretty tasty. So there's another 4 wounds taken off that guy there. How many are we down to now?
8.
8 wounds. That's pretty tasty. So now we've got the big one. We've got the plasma gun here. Now I'm going to be very, very brave here, and I'm going to overcharge it, which I never, ever, ever do. But if I overcharge it, I get a strength 8 weapon, and he is toughness 8. So it's going to improve my chances quite significantly, causing wounds. So I get a D6 per shot, and I'm going to fire it twice as per grinding advance. So we've got how many shots to play with? Or 5. Okay, well, that's not the best, but it's okay. So we've got 5 shots.
Loads of 1s.
And I'm hitting on 4s. I don't want to see a 1. I don't see a 1, so I got away with it, but I've only scored 4 hits, actually. That's not bad. Only 4 hits out of 5 dice. I'll take that, actually. That's pretty good.
Yeah, wounds.
Okay, so I'm looking at 4 ups to cause wounds off of these. And 2. Okay, now that's got a -3 modifier on it, but it doesn't really matter because it's all down to the invuln.
4 ups.
So 2 4-ups.
Made 1.
Made 1. Okay, so 2 damage puts him down to 6. And then we've got the Avenger. Now I was going to save the Avenger for this night just here, but it does feel like I might just be able to push this guy over the edge. So I'm going to go for it with every weapon that Avenger has got on the Warlord in the hope that we redress the balance and get to slay the Warlord as well. So we're going to start with the Avenger Bolt Cannon, which is a heavy 8 weapon, and he's hitting on 3s. So let's see how we go there. Oh, that's not bad. So we've got 2 misses. That's pretty decent. Now, it is only a strength 6 weapon, so I'm going to need 5s to cause a wound. And what have we got? We've got 3 wounds there. That is a minus, I think it's a -1 or 2 modifier, but it doesn't really matter because we're talking about a 4-up invuln here. Just checked it's a -2 modifier just in case you're following that. So yeah, invuln saves, 4-ups. 1 failed, so there's 1 more wound caused there.
Down to 5.
It's down to 5 wounds. Now next up we've got a pair of auto cannons. I'm going to fire those together, and each of those is a heavy 2 weapon, so 4 dice for those. And again, I'm hitting on 3s for those, and I get 3 hits. And that's...
Can you fail some things, please?
No, I'm doing quite well here. It's nice. So the auto cannon is a strength 7 weapon, so 5s to cause wounds. And I've got... Oh, look at that. So 2 wounds caused on there. So again, I think that's a 4-up invuln save, isn't it? Because it's a -1 modifier, yeah. So you're looking at a 4-up save.
2 damage a pop.
Ooh, so 2 damage caused there. It's down to 3. Then we've got the las cannons on there, which I'm going to fire up next. So there's 2 las cannons. Again, these are hitting on 3s. Oh, 2 hits. How do you feel, Robin?
I feel like my Warlord's going to die.
I think you might be right here. New mini syndrome might just be in play here. So I need 3s to wound. And, oh, okay. 1. So 1 save you need to make there. It's a 4-up save.
4-up, and then he's weathered everything.
I have got a heavy stubber on there as well.
Go away. Yes!
Oh, he's got it. Can I kill him with the stubber? Statistically, highly unlikely, but let's give it a whirl. We're going to throw literally everything at him. He might even end up firing his service revolver out the window if necessary. Okay. All right, so just checking the rules out. I never noticed this before, and I'm not sure if it's a misprint, I've got to say. But the defensive heavy stubber, which is at the back of the aircraft there, actually only says it has an 8-inch range. Now, a normal heavy stubber, of course, is 36 inches, so I kind of made the assumption it would be okay. But the rules, as they are in the book, say that it's only 8-inch range. So I'm out of things to fire at him. That's really frustrating because I'm going to have to weather a round of shooting. Oh, no, actually, thank you, Robin. Robin's been very sporting. I'd actually completely forgotten about these units down here. So maybe they will die just through sheer determination and standard issue Imperial Guard las guns. Let's just see how that goes. We're going to start out with the las guns. With a combination of some rapid fires and some pistols in there, there are 9 shots available, so I need 4s first of all to actually hit. And what have we got here? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. And this is the tough part, of course, because I now need 6s to wound with these fairly ineffectual weapons. Although I do get 1, so I need you to make 1 save. Obviously no modifier. Oh, there's a wound. Would you believe it? Down to 2 wounds. So it is. I don't want to put any pressure on this guy down here.
It's alright. The melt was going to miss.
But the melt guns always miss. But you never know your luck. So I need a 4 from the melt gun guy. No. So it is going to survive. I'm fairly sure I've used a command point to re-roll the dice, haven't I? So I'm not going to be able to do that one again. But on that subject... Yeah, on that subject, I do get the opportunity to get those 2 command points back off Rob. Oh, no, I rolled that, didn't I? Yes, I tell a lie. Okay. So that is the end of my turn, and that guy is going to cling on with just 2 wounds remaining. I'm quite impressed, actually. I was a little bit worried at the start of my turn that I was going to really just be scratching away at these guys, but I feel a bit more confident now, having beaten up the Warlord just a little bit.
Well, that was a bit of a tatering, wasn't it? So, yeah, my Warlord is on 2 wounds remaining, meaning that he can only move 4 inches. So he's crawled up. I've tried to separate the rest of the knights as much as possible, because he's going to go boom, and they go boom very big. So yeah, Siegfried is on this flank. We've got a house rule that we can actually cross this, because it seems a bit ridiculous that a knight can't just step over that. So they've walked over that. The other two knights, so the Warden and the Crusader, are facing off against 3 tanks there. I'm also within flamer shots of the Flyer, so hopefully I can burn that out of the sky. Really need to put a lot of damage on these Leman Russ this turn, because I can't weather another storm like that. So I'm going to start the firing with the Warlord. I'm going to fire the Traitor's Pyre up at the Flyer. The Harpoon, I've got to do something with his Harpoon. He's going to shoot into this. The Melters are going to shoot into that as well. It's probably going to be a bit overkill, but I am hitting on 5s, so maybe not. Missile of Doom is going into the las cannon one, and the siege cannon is also going into the las cannon one. So let's kick off with the Traitor's Pyre. So 3d6 shots, and that is again rubbish.
Wow, you need some new dice.
I do need some new dice, yeah. So we've got 5 shots. Fantastic. Auto hits, and toughness is 7, I'm presuming. So 4s to wound, but I get to re-roll all the fails. Fantastic. So that is all 5 wound there, and that is -2. So John needs to make 5 5-ups, and he's made none of them. So that has just taken 10 damage.
Ouch.
Nice. Moving on to the Harpoon into the front Chimera. Need a 5 to hit, but I can re-roll because of the special rule of the Harpoon. Come on. Yes!
Oh, it's got it. Just need a re-roll.
2s to wound. I am going to command point this, because I've got to kill something with this weapon. I don't need the command point.
Oh, well, look at that.
So that,
guys, they're 2 6s on the bounce.
that has done 10 damage.
Yep.
Flat 10 damage. Yeah.
Ouch. Yeah.
Plus D3 mortal wounds.
Okay.
How many wounds has that got? 12?
12 wounds, yeah.
Oh, it's a bit cocked.
Again. 12.
That is a dead Chimera.
1 shot. Does it explode badly? Let's see.
No, it doesn't.
So there's 10 guys inside there. I don't want to see any ones.
Loads of ones. There's one.
Oh, there's
one.
So 1 guy again.
1 guy dies. So next fire, we're going to do one of the missiles into the las cannon pattern Leman Russ. So hitting on a 5.
Oh, it's a hit.
Beautiful. Strength 10, so wounded on a 3. I'm going to re-roll that.
Okay.
Yep, so it wounds, it's -4.
Okay, so it would have been a 3-up, makes it 7-up. I can't save that.
And that missile will do D6 damage. 4 damage. And then the final shots from the Warlord are from the Siegebreaker cannon, 2d3 shots. So that is 4 shots, getting better. Shame he's nearly dead. And hitting on 5s. He's got 1 hit, it's strength 7, so wounding on a 5. No, bounces off. Next to fire is Sir Siegfried. He is firing his rapid fire battle cannon into the las cannon Leman Russ, and his stubbers are going into the pesky guardsman at his feet. So let's do 2d6 shots from the rapid fire battle cannons. Oh, he's mad. He is really mad. 10 shots in total. 10 shots hitting on 3s. There's a couple of misses. 4 misses. And it's strength 8, so wounding on 4s. Oh, that's not good. 2 wounds, -2.
So 2 5-ups I need. Let's have a little look at that. Oh, neither of them.
Okay, and it is D3 damage each. Oh, that's good. 5 damage. Now Stubbers. Hitting on 3s. Oh, dear me, Siegfried is mad. He's going to get promoted. I'm going to paint him as a baron. Decided. He's promoted. He is Killed Gulliman in the last battle.
Nice.
Right. 3s. Yeah. Look at that. 4 wounds. No minus. 4 saves, please, sir.
Oh, none of them at all. So 4 are dead.
Next we'll move on to the Crusader. So he is going to fire the Endless Fury Gatler into the Lascannon Lehman Russ, the Rapid Fire Battle Cannon and the Missile Launcher into the Plasma one. And his Flamer and the Stubbers are going to shoot up at the Flyer. So let's start with the Endless Fury, requiring 3s. 6s are additional hits. Missed a few though. But bring one of those back because of the 6. Okay, and this is 5s to wound. So that is 3 wounds.
Any modifier on that at all?
-2.
Okay.
2 damage.
So these are 5s then.
Failed them all.
Oh, failed them all. Not good.
2 damage a pop. He's gone kaboom.
Has it gone proper kaboom then? That's the big question.
Yes.
The answer is yes, it has. So we've checked, and the Battle Cannon Lehman Russ is not in 6 inches, but obviously the Executioner that's right next door is going to be in range. So that's D3 mortal wounds. Oh, 1 wound.
Moving on to the Rapid Fire Battle Cannon. So 2d6 shots. 9 shots. This is good. It's good. I like it. 6, 8, 9, hitting on 3s. And that is just 2 misses. That is not bad. 4s to wound because it's strength 8. Ooh, that's not so good. Only 3, but -2.
So that's 3 5s up that I need to make.
Not made one of them.
Yeah.
None of them.
No. Oh dear, oh dear.
And each one of those is D3 damage. So 3, 5, 6, 7.
So after all those shots, my poor beleaguered Lehman Russ Executioner has taken 8 wounds, and we've still got the Storm Spear missiles to go.
Hit on 3s. That's 2 hits.
2 hits.
Wounded on 4s, strength 8. So 1, and it is minus something.
-2. So again, I'm looking at 5 here. No. So how many damage is that?
D6.
D6 damage. 1 damage.
I'll use command point this turn. I'm going to use command point.
Okay. What's that this time? Oh, it's 6. Okay, so that is going to put that guy out of wounds. Does it explode? Does it matter? No, it doesn't explode. Okay. Do I get my command point back or gain one from Rob? No, not on this occasion.
And the last shots from the Crusader going up into the Flyer. So D6 shots from the Flamer. 2 auto hits, and this will be wounded on 5s. So nothing there. And now last is just the 6 stubber shots. Hit on 4s. That is 3. 5s. And nothing. So the Flyer does survive. Onto the last knight, and he is going to be firing all his big guns at this Lehman Russ here, and the Stubbers are going into the Flyer. Actually, they'll go to the Flyer. So let's do 12 shots first of all. Twelve shots hitting on 3s. Not bad. Reroll that one, cocked. And 5s and 6s to wound. 6s cause mortal wounds though. Oh my word. So that is 3 normal hits. 3 normal wounds and 3 mortal wounds. So 3 5-up saves.
3 5-ups. Okay. So
So 2, so he's taken 4 damage plus the 3, so he's taken 8 damage in total.
Ouch.
Sorry, 7 damage. I can do maths, promise. And now for the Judgment Missile Launcher on the top, into the same target, hitting on 3s, re-rolling, misses, good job. So that is 2 hits. So John needs to do 2 5-ups. She fails both. Do you want to use command point? It might be worth it.
I think it might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on. I'm going to use a command point. Still no better.
Okay.
Exactly the same roll.
Right, so each one of these does D6 damage.
Oh,
4.
that's
Down to 1 wound,
one
isn't
wound
it?
remaining. Yeah, that's unfortunate for you.
And then lastly, we just got some incidental fire coming up from the stubbers into the flyer, hitting on 4s. And then wounding on 5s. Well caught. So just 1, no minus, so 3-up save.
3-up save there.
No,
so
so it's taking
1
another
wound.
damage. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that turn. I thought I was going to lose my Warlord in the first turn, and I thought I was going to be on the back foot, but that round of fire then was absolutely punishing. How many tanks did I just blow up?
Well, you've practically blown up that one that's still sitting there on the board, and these
Yeah.
2 guys both died down here as well. Probably my biggest hitters as well. So the Annihilator, obviously, a lot of las cannons on there.
Yeah.
Not great for me, really, at all.
No, so let's move on to the charge phase, because I am going to charge you.
Ooh, okay. What are you going to charge?
This is going to charge that.
Okay.
Those guardsmen there. Do you want to...
I will naturally Overwatch. Let's go and count up the guys there and see how many we've got.
You got 2 las cannons and a pistol.
2 las guns, I presume.
Yeah, las cannons.
that would be nice, wouldn't it? Situation like this, that would be ideal. So there's
2 las guns.
2 las guns.
So
that's
4 shots, and a
there.
pistol from the sergeant.
Okay, so 2 las guns, a pistol. So
Hit on 6s.
5 las guns, 2 hits, and 6 2 wounds, nothing there, and then we've got the melt gun. Oh, it's exciting! This really needs to be a 6. No, it's a 1.
I want to get my Warlord a little bit safer and a little bit further away from these guys. Yes, Siegfried might take some damage when he goes pop, but I'm going to try and charge into the same squad. So here we go. He's in. He's well in. So I want to try and protect my Warlord, so I'm going to do some shenanigans here. Because I got a really long charge, I've placed him there. He's not within an inch, well, he's just within an inch of this unit. Now if I move him 3 inches to get closer with this, I also then become engaged with this unit over here. Obviously I can't attack that one because I didn't declare it, but they are now tied up in combat with me, and hopefully their bayonets won't be enough to take the final 2 wounds off me. So let's go on to the stomps, because he's so damaged I do need 6s to wound. So that is 2 stomps, so this isn't great anyway, but hey. And that will be 2 wounds, -2.
Okay, can't save those, so there's 2 casualties there.
Siegfried is going to do exactly the same, so he's going to do his stomps, and he's hitting on 3s. Yeah, so we have a couple of misses there. Wounded on 2s. They're dead.
Ouch, that unit's wiped out. So now I've got the opportunity to attack back with the infantry just up there. Now this guy's on 2 wounds, so I'm going to have to be super duper lucky, but you never know. So we've got 10 attacks off that squad, and they're hitting on 4s. Let's see how that goes. That's not too bad. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that is 6 there that are hits. But obviously they're weak and feeble, so they're going to need 6s again to cause a wound. Oh, 1 wound there though. That's not bad. So he's clinging on. Well, we've got to save that, of course, and obviously no modifier on that.
He lives. He's going to live.
Yeah, he does.
So at the end of that turn, the Knights have displayed some devastating firepower. I thought it was going to be a very short game in terms of my Knights dying. What with the amount of punishment that went in on my two more expensive Knights. However, that round of shooting has really done me some favours. So yeah, I've managed to kill most of the things which could kill me and really severely damaged whatever's left in terms of the las cannon flyer and that Lehman Russ down there. So pretty happy with that. Let's move on to the Imperial Guard turn 2.
These guys fell back out of combat, and then I hopped my commander and his attendant squad out of the Chimera behind, used an order to get back in the fight. So these guys, even though they fell back, are now going to be able to shoot when it is their turn. So I'm going to use that melt gun, hopefully to full effect. My flyers, basically done a swap maneuver there with the Vendetta coming over to the right hand side of the battlefield, and the Avenger swinging round to the left hand side of the battlefield. And then if we turn our attention to the back of the battle, then down here you can see I've also hopped a squad out of this Chimera here. It is literally all hands to the pump. There's another melt gun in that squad, and I want to get that as close as I can to those Knights, just try and cause some damage. This Lehman Russ down here is still fully functional and intact. This one here is very much in a battered state, so can't really rely on any damage output from that whatsoever. So it is down to the flyers, it's down to the squad, and it's down to these Chimeras really. So I'm going to start with the squad that I've just ordered to get back in the fight, and they are going to begin with their las guns, and there are 15 shots in total off the las guns that we've got there. So we're going to give those a whirl and just see if we can't chip away and maybe get a wound off there if we're really super lucky. So I need 4 to hit first of all. Let's take a look at that. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 there, and I'm going to need 6s to wound on those. What have we got there? We've got 1 wound there, so we need 1 save off you, please, Robin, without any modifier at all. What we got? Save to 6. Oh, you've wasted that 6 needlessly. Yes. So now the exciting stuff happens. I've got a melt gun to fire. Miss. I need a 4.
Miss.
No, it's a miss. And I'm going to spend a point on that. And now it's a hit. That's more like it.
4 to wound.
And I need a 4 to wound, and I definitely get that.
4 up.
4 up save. Can it be done?
Of course it can. Watch this.
Nope, absolutely not.
Oh god.
So it's what is it?
2d6.
2d6.
Pick
Take
the
the
highest. The 1.
No, so 4. I will definitely take the 4. That is a boom. That Valiant is destroyed, but we were just reading up on how it can go horribly critical, so let's make some space for the killer roll. What do we need here, Rob? Tell us about it.
It blows up 2d6. If any of them is a 6, then it is 2d6 inches and d6 wounds to everything in that radius. If both of these are a 6, then it is 3d6 inches.
Alright, let's check it out.
Well, that was anticlimactic.
Could have been exciting though. So with the Valiant destroyed, these guys now have the option to shoot into Siegfried, and there are 11 shots from las guns to go into Siegfried. So here's my 11 dice, needing 4s. Oof. Oh, there's a lot of 1s in there. Wow. What have we got? We've got 2 hits.
2 hits.
2 hits, and I'm going to need 6s on those as well.
What a change.
Oh, no, not so good.
What a change. First turn you couldn't miss. This turn, can't hit.
No, well, it's a big target as well. You would like to think that these guys here, even after basic training, would be able to hit the enormous knight, but apparently not so much. Now, it is...
Siegfried is blessed, you see.
Oh, sorry, Sir Siegfried, did you say?
Sir Siegfried is blessed.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to check the range on the melt gun, but I'm going to guess he's probably out of range. So the melt gun is out of range. I'm actually really close, but just like out of range. Now I do have a very beaten up Lehman Russ here, which I am going to try and shoot at Siegfried as well. Now in this guy's defense, Sir Siegfried, sorry. 6s I need to hit. So let's start with 2 sets of heavy bolters. I need 6s, and I get nothing. I've got a las cannon, which again I need a 6 for.
Slightly cocked.
No, that's a 1. No, that's good enough. That's a 1. So then I've got 2 shots with a battle cannon. How many shots do I get there? Oh, that's not so bad.
10 shots.
10. Bear with me while I get 10 dice together. Still going to need 6s. Oof. Oh, it's looking a bit better. There's 3 there.
Cocked that
one. Oh, Robin's calling that cocked. Fair enough. Doesn't like to lose. He's really bit passionate about Sir Siegfried, aren't you?
Siegfried, he's blessed.
So there are 2 hits there. I need 4s to make those into wounds. He's blessed, isn't he? Yeah, unbelievable. I'm going to pause on my vendetta for a second because I want to see how things pan out over the back of the battlefield down here. So I'm going to start again with the guardsmen, and those guys are going to shoot into the knight. So 15 shots with las guns, needing 4s. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Not bad.
Not so bad. Now we need 6s to wound. 1 wound left, so you need to make 1 save.
Okie dokie.
No modifier on that.
Oh no!
So there's a wound taken off. And then we've got the melt gun, so he needs a 4. And he does get it. And we need a 4 again to wound. Oh, so next we're going to shoot this Chimera at it. So we've got a heavy bolter. So I need 4s. And I get 2. And I need 5s to wound. And I get 1 wound there, so it's a -1 modifier on that.
4s.
Oh, there's another wound taken off. And then we've got the multi-laser. We've got 2 hits there. And no wounds. Then I've got the other Chimera, which is just a little bit closer to the camera. So this one is going to shoot as well. So we've got the heavy bolter on the front. And we get nothing on that at all. And then we've got the multi-laser. And we get nothing on that as well. Fantastic. So these guys need to go to gunnery school. Then we've got the Lehman Russ over the back here as well, which I'm going to fire at the same place as well. So we've got 3 heavy bolters on that. So we're going to start with those. Now that Lehman Russ is still hunky-dory and intact, so I'm looking at 4s to hit there. So let's take those out of the equation. That's not brilliant. And I need 5s to wound. And I've got 2 wounds there. So 2 wounds with a -1.
4 ups.
Ooh,
so
okay.
1 goes through.
1 goes through. So that's 2 wounds taken off thus far, I think, from what I remember.
3 in total, but
yeah, 3 altogether. Then we've got the battle cannon to go as well. So 2 sets of D6. Oh, that's pretty good. 9 shots.
Yeah, that's good.
2, 4, 6, 8, 9. So 4s required here. Oh, come on.
Go.
That leaves me with 2 wounds then, requiring, well, 2 hits requiring 4s to wound. Oh, look at that. Pretty awesome.
What's the...
so that's a -2 modifier. It's a battle cannon.
5 ups.
Oh, so 1 goes through, and that's D3 damage.
So another 2.
Another
so
2.
he has taken 5 damage in total.
Ouch. So that just leaves me with 2 flyers left to shoot, and I'm going to start with the Vendetta, and I'm going to target that knight right there. It is on 11 wounds. I've got 6 las cannons to fire at it, and I...
5s. So graded.
Yeah, hitting on 5s. I forgot about. I was just about to brag about hitting on 3s. Yeah, hitting on 5s. Rob makes a good point.
That's
okay,
1 hit.
1 hit.
No wound.
No wound. Not particularly good.
Love it.
Okay, so the Avenger is in a better state, so I'm going to use that on that knight instead. So we've got the Avenger bolt cannon, which is a heavy 8, if I remember correctly. Yep. And I need 3s. Okay, still not particularly
Wow.
good. So 2 hits.
I think you used all your luck on turn 1.
I think I did. And
That's 1 wound.
that's 1 wound with a -2 mod. Well, it's just a 4 pinfall, isn't it?
5.
Oh, 5. Okay. Ooh, no, it's failed. So that's 1 damage. And then I've got 2 auto cannons. Okay, that's not looking
All
too
hit.
bad now. They've all hit. Strength 7.
5s.
So we've
1.
got 1 wound there.
-1.
So -1.
4s.
Oop, and that's a 6. That's saved. And then we've got 2 las cannons. We've got 1 hit. And no wounds. That's terrible. That is the end of my shooting. So I was really hoping to take another night off. But that is the end of my shooting, which is not
charge?
great. No, I'm not going to charge, funnily enough.
Oh.
No.
Siegfried has moved 12 from behind the containers and is now within 3 inches of the 4-point objective, and he's staring down at the guard and also the heavily damaged Lehman Russ there. My Crusader and the Warden. The Warden is holding the 2-point objective, and the Crusader has come to harass the undamaged tanks here in the corner, and also will be able to lay down some fire here. So hopefully at the end of this turn there might only just be a couple of flyers flying around wondering why they're still on the battlefield. So I'm about to open fire first of all with the Crusader, and he is going to be putting all of his big guns into the Lehman Russ closest to him. His Flamer is going into the Guardsman squad, as are the stubber shots. So let's go for the 2d6 battle cannon first of all. So 8 shots. He requires 3s to hit. That's quite a lot of misses on that. Quite a lot of misses. So 4 hits and 4s to wound. And that is 2 wounds at -2.
I've got 2 5s up to ranks. Oh, a lot of 5s up in this game. Oh,
So
1 save.
So D3 damage.
Ooh,
3 damage.
3 damage there.
So next fire is the Endless Fury, 14 shots, hitting on 3s. There's a couple of misses there. That 6 becomes another hit. And then we need 5s and 6s to wound. So we have 1 wound.
Any mod on that?
-2, 2 damage.
Okay, so yeah, another 5 up. Yeah, failed.
So another 2 damage. Last to fire is going to be, well, last to fire at that target is going to be his Storm Spear missile pod, so heavy 3. And they all hit, that's what I like to see. 4s to wound. Oh, none of them. Stubbers next to fire into the infantry. I don't like rolling here. Keep missing too many things. Wounded on 3s, so 2 saves on the infantry.
Okay, so any modifier on that?
Nope.
No, still was just straight mod, isn't it? Okay, let's have a look. Oh, okay, so 1 is dead.
Yeah. Flamer. D6 shots.
What's that? Oh, it's a 6.
Oh, nice.
Ooh,
6 flamer auto hits, so wounds on 3s. And that is 3 wounds -1.
-1, so I need 6s. Ooh, one of them survives.
Yep, 1
2 of them
survived.
are dead.
Toast.
Toasted guys. Total people.
Okay. Next fire will be the Warden, and he is going to shoot all of his big guns into the damaged Lehman Russ, and the little guns, so the Flamer and the Stubbers, into the Guardsman. So let's go with the big Gatler first of all, hitting on 3s. So that's a lot better. Yeah, only 2 missed there. And I require 5s to wound, but because of his Warlord trait, 6s do mortal wounds. Oh, wow. Okay. 4 mortal wounds. So you've got 5 normal saves and 4 mortal wounds. So 4 mortal wounds have gone through. And then these 5 saves at -2.
Here we go.
Okay, so that is 1 dead tank. Does it go boom?
I'll take a look.
Nope.
Nope.
So now the stubber. 3s, all hit, followed by 3s, all wound. So 3 saves from the guardsman.
Five up.
So 1 dead. And then D6 flamer shots. Oh wow, 5, that's good. 3s, -1, so 4 6-ups. Presume it's a 6-up, is it?
Yeah, well, they're 5 up normally, so
Yeah.
-1 is a 6 up.
And that's 4 dead.
1, 2, 3, 4 dead.
Right, so we're moving on to Siegfried. I was going to fire his battle cannon into the heavily damaged Lehman Russ. However, the flyer has a lot more las cannons. Yes, it's slightly harder to hit, but I only need to take a couple of wounds off it. And I think that one is slightly more dangerous. So I'm going to put the big battle cannon into that, and his 2 stubbers are going to go into the Lehman Russ because I only need to take 1 wound off that, so I might get lucky, and if not, I can probably get it in melee at some point soon. Right, so let's do 2d6 battle cannon shots. I think, are we cocked?
Yeah.
So 9 shots. 9 shots hitting on 4s because it's a flyer. Not too bad. About average. Maybe slightly under. Wounding on 3s though. That's bad. That's only 1 wound. I'm going to command point one of these to no avail. Okay, so it's -2 to its save.
Okay, so that's
5 up.
5 up save, which he doesn't make.
So it takes 2 damage. Right, so after all that fire, he is on 1 wound remaining. Couldn't quite get that last wound off. So now we're just going to go into the stubbers, into the heavily damaged Lehman Russ. 3s. That is 4 hits. And 5s. So that's 2. I only need to do 1. You got 2 3-ups to make. Oh, he's nailed it! Moving on to the charge phase. Siegfried is charging the guardsman in front of him. It's basically an auto-in, but John is going to overwatch me first of all.
So that means I've got 15 las guns and a melt gun.
So las guns first of all, rapid firing. That's 2 hits. That's 6s, no.
Nothing there. And
Melter.
the all-important melter.
Does it hit?
No.
No, it doesn't hit.
Never ever.
Okay, so Siegfried is in. Boop. Next we will move on to my Crusader, and he is going to be charging into the Chimera that is closest to him. Again, it's an auto-in.
Okay.
Heavy bolters.
Heavy rolls first.
That's 1 hit.
5s. Wound. There's a
That's
wound.
a wound.
You can just make a save -1.
4 up. No, so I take 1 damage. And multi-laser.
Multi-laser.
No. Okay, so he is in on a, well, 3, just about. And then the warden here is going to be charging that infantry squad right in front of him. There is a melter there, and a melter and a sergeant. So
Okay.
one pistol, no, and 1 melter. Come on, you got this.
Oh,
No. Okay, so and he is also in as well. So that is 2d3 damage. So 3, 4, 5.
Ouch.
Siegfried is going to do his stomps first of all, so he is hitting on 3s. Lots of 1s and 2s in that, to be fair. Not too bad. And then wounding on 2s. So that is 5 wounds at -2. So there's 5 dead.
5 dead Marines.
5 Marines. You wish there were Marines.
You wish there were Marines.
Okay, we'll move straight on to the Warden that's going to do exactly the same. He's going to do his stompy stomps. So 12 stomps, hitting on 3s. That's a lot better. Do you want to just take them off?
Probably.
Yeah, they're dead.
Yeah, there's only 2 of them, so they're very dead.
Yeah. So finally, the Crusader is going to do some tap dancing on the Chimera. So again, 12 shots. Even though he's taken a lot of damage because his Hawk Shroud, he's not degraded yet because they're awesome. So hitting on 3s. And he is going to be wounded on 3s. Okay, so that's 5 wounds at -2.
Okay, so those are 5 ups. What we got there? Oh, it's not too bad.
So 2 go through.
2 go through. 1 damage each.
No, you wish.
What we got?
I think they're D3 damage each.
So for what it's worth, these guys are going to have the opportunity to hit back. I've got 4 guys that are left alive, and that makes a total of 5 attacks. So that's 5 attacks in total at 4 up. Oh, there's 1 on the floor. There we go. So we've got 2 hits. 6 is to wound. Nope, nothing at all. So my Chimera is also going to hit back because it's in a slightly degraded state now. That is going to be D3 attacks, which is 3 attacks. 6s, nothing at all. So at the end, after that beating, these guys need to check their morale. A sergeant is still on the board at the moment, so they've got a leadership of 7. See how we go on. Oh, yeah, they're still good. So what I've done is I've backed this infantry squad out of combat. We drew them from combat. I'm now using the commander here to use the order to get back in the fight to allow these guys to shoot in this forthcoming turn. Everything else basically stayed put. Oh, except this Chimera here, which has moved away just in case I get the opportunity to shoot. Well, actually, I will be shooting that knight as well because I've got my flyer over the back there. Both flyers actually going to target that guy over there and try and remove him from the game, hopefully, during this turn. If my dice are a little bit kinder to me, then that's the plan. So I'm going to start with the Lehman Russ down here into Siegfried, Sir Siegfried.
Thank you.
And I'm going to start with the heavy bolters. There's 2 heavy bolters, so that's 3 shots apiece. I'm hitting on 6s because he's broken. 1 hit. Oof. 5 to wound. No wound.
Nope.
And then I've got the las cannon. No hit. And then I've got 2 shots from the battle cannon. So I've got 8 shots. And 2 hits.
2 hits. 4s.
4s to wound. 1 wound. -2.
5 up.
No. And that's D3 damage. Oh, it's 3 damage.
First wounds on Siegfried. Down to 21.
Oh, he's definitely going to be out of the game soon. So then looking at the guard squad in front, I'm going to fire the las guns at Siegfried as well, first of all. And there are 1 hit there. I need a 6 to cause wound. Nothing. And then we've got the all-important melt gun, which does actually hit for a change.
Would have hit an Overwatch.
Yeah. And
oh
no, it doesn't wound.
No.
Great.
A command point there.
Yeah, why not? Oh, come on. Then I actually do have another melt gun in the infantry squad next door. So I'm going to go straight to the melt gun first on that infantry squad. And no, great. Then how many las guns we got? So we've got 17 las gun shots in there. You never know your luck, I suppose. Every wound is worth something, right? Let's have a little look. So we've got Not even particularly good. 4.
4 hits.
4 hits.
That's impressive.
And I need 6s to wound. And there's 1 wound in there.
1 wound, and of course it's one of my dice. 3s.
Yep, saved.
No
Because
problem.
I'm desperate, I'm going to also fire the company commander at Siegfried as well. Oh, it's cocked.
Brilliant.
There we go, that's a hit. And 6s to wound. Yeah, oh, it's a wound there, so 1 more save.
He don't care.
No, he doesn't care, you're right. So next we've got the Vendetta. The broken Vendetta is going to fire at the Crusader over there. So I've got 6 las cannons to play with, but they're going to be hitting on 6s.
I'm going to use command point to rotate iron shields, just in case.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay, so we've got 1 hit there. And let's see if we get a wound out of it. We certainly do.
So 4 up in 1.
4 up save.
Oh,
No.
Save him.
So D6 is 6
big
wounds.
That's what I was worried
Boom.
about. It's down to 3.
Oh.
Do you want to see if you get my command point?
Yep, I'll see if I get a command point back off Rob.
Nope.
No. So next up, I'm going to fire the Avenger at the Crusader. I'm going to start with the Avenger bolt cannon. It's a heavy 8, hitting on 3s.
Hitting on 6s.
The Avenger's not damaged.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, the Avenger's not damaged. It's still good. So what have we got here? We've got 1 which is wedged.
4.
So 4. Strength 6, so it needs 5s to wound. And we've got 2 wounds out of that. Save.
Oh.
No, neither. Okay, so I think that's
Got
just...
1 damage.
Oh, it's got 1 damage left.
1.
Nice.
1 wound. 1 wound. Oh
So
my gosh.
next up, we've got the auto cannons. Okay,
Oh,
and
that's
they're
all hit.
all hit.
Could be losing a knight here.
And
That's cocked.
we've got at least 3. We've got 4 wounds going on there. Oh no, it's
No,
toughness
it's
8, isn't it? Yep, so just a 1 wound.
Needs to make this 4.
Oh, he's got it. But we've still got 2 las cannons. So 3s on the las cannons. Yep, 2 hits there. 3s to wound. There's 1. There's 2 wounds there for the las cannons. What you got?
Want to see 2 4-ups?
Can't wait. Oh, unbelievable.
Still in the
Well,
game.
he is still in the game.
He's got 1
But
wound.
we've got the Chimera just down here that hasn't fired at anything yet. So I'm going to fire 2 heavy bolters. And I've got 3 hits. So it's all starting to come together, hopefully. 5s to wound. Yeah, not coming together all that well there. Never mind. Then we've also got the multi-laser. And we've got 3 hits there as well.
5s.
So 5s to cause wounds. Ooh, 1 wound. It's all on this.
3 up.
Oh, he's in for another turn. That is the end of my turn, which is really annoying because he's clinging onto life with 1 wound, but I've got nothing left at all to fire at him. So he is going to be going around again for another turn.
A very quick movement phase there for the Knights. The Warden just shuffled slightly back, so he's within 2 inches of that objective. The heavily damaged Crusader has moved close to both of these Chimeras. He's only got 1 wound left, so he's going to do as much damage as he can, and if he explodes, he's going to take as many people down with him. And Siegfried has just shuffled round, sitting on the 4-point objective, and he is going to be shooting at a load of guardsmen and the damaged Leman Russ. Right, so Siegfried is going to open fire. He's going to shoot his battle cannon into the heavily damaged Leman Russ, and his stubbers are going to be shooting at this squad here on the right hand side. So let's do the 2d6 shots first of all. 7 shots, not terrible. 5, 6, 7. Still hitting on 3s. Drops 2. And this will be wounding on 4s. And that is 2 wounds at -2.
Okay, so 5 up.
He is toast.
Yep. Does it Kaboom.
No.
Not quite.
And now the stubbers into the guardsman. Oh, not so good. 2 hits and 2 wounds.
Okay, 2 saves.
That's 2 dead guardsmen.
2 dead guardsmen.
Right, so next we're going to go on to the damaged Crusader. He's going to fire his rapid fire battle cannon into the damaged Chimera in front of him. Yeah, that one. And he's going to fire his Endless Fury into the Chimera in front. Yeah, that one, the undamaged, and his missile pods. His stubbers are going into the infantry closest to him.
Okay.
So this infantry squad here. And his flamer will just measure up, but I think that they'll probably be in range. So we'll measure that one. We'll do 2d6 shots to the battle cannon. Oh, that's not so good. I needed a high roll, really, with how damaged he is. So 4 shots, hitting on 5s. 2 hits. Could still blow it up. 3s, just the 1. -2.
So 5 up save. Oh, it's done it.
Slightly cocked, that one, I think.
Okay. Try it again.
No.
No. So that's D3 damage, right?
D3 damage on that shot. It's the big 3. Next is Endless Fury shooting at the undamaged Chimera. So 14 shots, hitting on 5s. Wow, that's a lot of 6s. They cause additional hits. So we got misses, 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 and misses. But then add back in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. Not bad at all. Wounded on 3s. Sorry, wounded on 5s. Ooh. Yeah, that.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Wow, that was a bad roll. Okay, so then the missile pod. Same target. No hits. And then we'll do the flamer into the infantry. D6 shots. 3. 3s. That's 1 toasted guardsman. Well, -1.
-1,
So
6 up.
1 toasted guardsman.
Toasted guardsman.
And then 6 heavy stubber shots. Hitting on 5s. 3 hits. 3s. That's 3 wounds. 5 ups. That's 2 dead.
2 more dead.
Next we're moving on to the Warden, and he's going to shoot his Mega Gatler at the undamaged Chimera. His missile pod is going into the 2 wounds remaining one, and his flamer is going to shoot the flyer behind him.
Ooh.
And the stubber will shoot those guardsmen closest to him. That's it. So let's go for Endless Fury first of all. Hitting on 3s because he's undamaged. I knocked that one. So 5s and 6s. 6s cause mortal wounds. So it's a mortal wound and 2 normal damage.
Okay, so 2 saves.
Yep.
Taking
Okay,
2 wounds
so
altogether.
yeah, 2 in total. Yeah. Last of all, the flamer into the flyer. D6 shots. 3. No wounds. So next, the Judgment relic missile launcher is going to fire into the 2 wound remaining one. Might be a bit of overkill here, but yeah, they all hit. 3s to wound. That's 2 wounds at -2.
So 2 5 ups.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah, it's dead basically.
Yeah, does it kaboom? No,
Nope.
it doesn't.
Right, moving into the charge phase, so my Crusader is going to go into the Chimera, and Siegfried is going to go into all of that infantry in front of him. So he's going to take a bit of Overwatch, but he ain't scared.
Alright, so I'm going to start with the Overwatch from the Chimera, and we're going to start with the heavy bolters in the front. and there's nothing there. And I'm going to try it again with the multi-lasers. And I've got one there. I need a 5 to wound. Which I do get.
Could blow him up in Overwatch.
Oh, that'd be brilliant. Please blow up in Overwatch.
Come on!
Oh.
Yes! He survived!
So we've got 14 lasguns in that squad. And we've got 3 Overwatch hits.
6 is to wound.
6 is to wound. Oh, there's 1 wound there, 1 save.
So 1 3 up save.
Ooh,
No, failed. Takes a wound. It's down to 20.
And then we've got 2 melt guns.
Nope.
Typical.
Is that it?
Yep.
Right, charge. Yeah, he's in. Right, so Siegfried, I'm going to split his attacks. I'm going to do 6 attacks into this squad and 6 into that squad. Although I declared the charge against the commander, I can't actually get to him. He's not within an inch, so I can't attack him. So let's just try and clear out the infantry. So the first 6 attacks, hitting on 3s. That is 2 misses. Wounded on 2s. So that is 3 dead guardsmen.
Ouch.
And then the other 6. Oh, that's not too good. Another 2 dead guardsmen from that squad. Okay, so now some stomps onto the transport. Hitting on 5s though. Oh, that's not very good. That's 3 hits. And 3s. So they all do wound though.
Not so much.
That's -2.
Okay, so 3 5-ups required here.
None of them.
None of them.
D3 damage each, these are. D3 damage each. So that's 3, 6, 8, and that is a kaboom.
That's enough to kill it. So does it explode? It does not. Right, we need to do the morale for these guys down here. So the first squad has lost 5 members this turn, and the sergeant is still on the board.
Oh, yeah.
So what we're looking at leadership of 7.
Yeah, so 3 of them run away and there's 3 of them left.
So that's that squad wiped out. The other squad has lost 3 members, and they don't have a sarge either by looks of things.
So 6.
So 6.
Yeah, so he runs off.
Right. They're both wiped out then, just the commander left standing watching everybody else running away. Now, by rights, it should be my turn, but just looking at this thing realistically, I've got absolutely no hope, so I'm going to call it at this point. Not least because I basically have the company commander left, and once he dies, then the boots on the ground will mean that the flyers that I've got left are going to disappear off, so there is literally no point in carrying on. The Knights have been absolutely astounding, and I just don't have a hope of coming back from this point, and I can't influence the result in any way from here on in, so really no point in carrying on.
Hi then guys, welcome to the post-game review. So that was just brutal, wasn't it really? So I was absolutely terrified at your turn 1. Oh, that is one hell of a gun line to be charging at. All of those battle cannons and those las cannons, and you weren't missing.
No,
you weren't missing.
Dice rolls.
And I couldn't save anything in the first turn, and then it just fell off a cliff for you. You just couldn't. I know a lot of them were degraded by the time you got to shoot back, but even so, you should have done a lot better in the second turn than I think you did. So I think your dice just got very unlucky there. And having my Warlord hanging in with just 2 wounds.
Oh, that's frustrating.
And because he can auto hit,
yeah,
with that flamer, it's like, yeah, don't care.
Yeah, I knew where I'd gone wrong. I should have maybe focused all the fire on 1, delete that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why you did that. I did sort of question it in my own head that, you know, when you were sort of putting all that damage down on the Crusader, and then you decided to switch to the Valiant. I think if you just focused on either one of them, one of them would have been dead, and that could have really changed the battle, because both of those, they're the power of this list, really. You know, they're both over 500 points. The Valiant's just under 600 points. The Crusader is 530, I think. So it's a lot of the chunk of the army there. And if you'd killed one of those, then yeah, I think I really would have been on the back foot, and wouldn't have been able to hit you as hard as I did in my my second turn.
Okay.
But yeah, that was kind of brutal. What are your thoughts?
It was brutal. I really like Knights. I looked at your list and I just thought 4 models. That, I mean, in some respects it looks a little vulnerable, but
Yeah,
they're pretty tough. They are, in fact, they're very tough, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think with a few things being different, the second turn roll, the dice rolls not being so great. Maybe just a mistake with allocating shots in the first turn. It could have. I do think that my list had a reasonable chance. I don't think the deployment model helped as well. With it being spearhead deployment was probably a little bit against me as well, to be honest. But yeah, I think I could have done better.
Yeah, I think you managed to sort of backline a little bit with obviously the terrain, so I couldn't get that harpoon in range on the first turn, which I really wanted to do. Never get to do that with a Valiant, do you? So yeah, I think your deployment was okay. It was probably as good as you can expect it to be. But yeah, it's just, you've got to kill them, and especially with Hawkshroud. Hawkshroud their profile doesn't degrade as easily. So if you're gonna fire at one, you've got to really focus and really make sure that you degrade it down to its lowest profile or blow it up.
Yeah,
otherwise it's just going to do you over in the next turn. So and that's exactly what happened, wasn't it? So, but it's still, you know, it's an enjoyable game for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, no, I enjoy it. It's always
fun watching stuff blow up, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the first turn was brilliant. I mean, that was really exciting from watching most stuff blown up, and obviously the damage was putting out on yours as well. It was all great, and it's really, to me, it's really exciting to watch. I've not really had much experience with Knights. You know, either controlling them or being on the receiving end, so it's quite nice to watch that. Did you have a favourite Knight unit of the game that you thought was outstanding?
I think the Crusader is just solid. Crusader, just the amount of shots that, I mean, obviously I like the Valiant, but by the time the first turn I whiffed with the Valiant, and then the second turn when I could actually do something, he was so badly degraded I was hitting on 5s. He still did work. That was a lucky harpoon shot. That felt good. That harpoon, that felt good. 13 wounds in 1 shot.
Yeah, that was impressive.
No save. Nope. Boom. See you later. Take it off. Take it off.
Yeah.
So yeah, that felt good. But yeah, Crusader. I mean, the more powerful list which I'm working on for this is 2 Crusaders, the same build. With the pods on the top, and the Valiant, exactly the same build as I brought to this, and then a Gallant, which is the close combat one with the fist. I think that could be quite good. That could be quite good. So that's what I'm going to try out next. So stay tuned, and you might see that on the channel pretty soon, hopefully. When I can get the paintbrush out and paint the second Crusader. That is. So.
From my perspective, I think the Avenger stood out. I mean, that's got such a lot of damage output, hasn't it? For a relatively cheap flyer, it does enough dish out some pain.
And 14 wounds. I can't believe how many wounds it had. That's, you know, but that's better than a Storm Raven, and I thought Storm Ravens were one of the best sort of, you know, transport flyer thingy like that. But yeah, that was hard. It was pesky, and for it to hang in on just 1 wound for so long, it's like just die. But yeah, what is it? 5, 6 las cannons.
Oh, you're about the Vendetta. The Vendetta was alright as well. No, the Avenger's the brown one. Yeah, that's the one with the Avenger
that was
cannon.
rubbish. Vendetta was your man. He was awesome.
Yeah, I suppose they both did pretty well actually. Yeah,
he put a lot of the hurt on the Valiant, I think. So, but well, both flyers did pretty well. They were probably, both of those flyers were probably your units of the game.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
But yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I have got a really sore throat and I'm dying, so I'm going to go to bed now.
Oh dear. Well, I'm going to just hijack the end of this post-game review just to put a bit of an appeal out. So this weekend coming, I'm going to be running in London. I'm doing a sponsored 10k, and here's my running number. I'm doing a 10k run in London, and I'm raising money for the Dyspraxia Foundation. So what I'm going to do is put a link on there to my Just Giving page. And if you guys can spare a little bit of cash to put towards the Dyspraxia Foundation, just helping building awareness of that that particular condition and helping people out. And the Dyspraxia Foundation did great work for myself, my wife, and our family. You know, we're really grateful for the work that they've done for us, and this is just my little opportunity to give a little back. So I've already done really well. I'm blown away by the sponsorship I've had from those who've already contributed, but if you guys out there would like to help out as well, it would be very much appreciated. So if you're interested, check out that link at the end of this video as well. And other than that, guys, obviously the usual stuff applies. Don't forget to subscribe if you don't already. Don't forget to share this video around the groups that you participate in, and keep an eye out for us on the next one. We'll see you again soon.